Hello, welcome to another episode of TSHANKS2 Show Live. Today we have Mr. Tony Dingus, the man, the myth, the legend. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. Great. Thank you for the opportunity. I feel honored.
No problem.
And just got a bunch of questions. I'm going to use my cheat sheet. And no need to introduce yourself. I think I did that myself.
You did a good job.
And basically, what position do you hold here at Meigs High School?
I'm the band director here.
Awesome. And did you go to a university, and if so, what was your major back in the day?
I went to Marshall University and got my bachelor's degree in 1978 in music education. And then I went back and got my master's degree again at Marshall University in '86, I believe.
Impressive. And what was one of your craziest times or moment in college to do with music or not?
There were a lot of interesting moments as a music student. My trumpet teacher was J.D. Folsom. He was a really intense trumpet teacher, and so there were a lot of moments where J.D. was a real hands-on guy. So if you didn't listen and didn't practice and weren't prepared, then it could get physical in your lesson. So that was probably my craziest times, was just in my trumpet lessons.
Awesome. And now, have you always been a musical enthusiast?
I've always liked music,
Mm-hmm.
and became obsessed with it in high school.
I know you grew up in an era where there was so much diverse music, everything from the Beatles all the way to the Bee Gees.
Sure. 60s, 70s, 80s.
Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix.
All those guys. Sure.
Awesome. All right. Now, what prior experience do you have before you started teaching in the music industry?
Before I started teaching, my whole experience was just being a part of the high school band program. That was about it. And then, like a lot of boys, we got a little garage band together with some of my friends, and I played a couple of dances, but we really weren't that good. We just enjoyed playing.
Awesome. I know when I was younger in high school, I tried the garage band thing, and we tried heavy metal, and we sounded like a bunch of sick cows. But what motivates you when you're teaching music?
Well, oddly enough, what motivates me is my responsibility to the students. I don't want to ever let them down or not be effective and cause them not to be successful. So that's my true motivation, is my students.
Awesome. If you ever get frustrated with teaching music or directing a marching band, what process do you go to alleviate that frustration?
Well, the life of a band director is very frustrating. You just have to get used to the frustrations. And to alleviate that, I just go home at the end of the day and I leave everything here. And then when I come back the next day, I'm ready to go.
Awesome.
Try not to dwell.
I wish the whole world was like that.
That'd be pretty good.
And what techniques do you use while teaching your pupils the wonderful harmony of music?
It's all such a process. It all starts in sixth grade when they start to learn to play. The first thing they have to know and understand is what their instrument sounds like. And then it's just a real part to whole kind of teaching experience where you just teach these little parts of things, and then suddenly it's time to split things into two parts, and then you start to create harmony. But it's just such a long process of teaching the proper technique and the proper fundamentals that it just happens. They have to understand that they're playing different notes than everyone else around them, how those notes fit, and they have to understand that they have to listen to hear if they fit in the sound.
Awesome.
That's about it.
I know last time I sat in on one of your guitar classes, and one thing that you said really stuck with me is you start at one string at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Get to know that string, then move on from there.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that that's an awesome way to teach, to bring that harmony together.
Just a little bit at a time.
I hear you. Now you're the man in the music world here at Meigs High School. Do you ever receive constructive criticism upon your musical teaching techniques, and how do you reflect upon that?
Well, in the fall especially, we do almost on a weekly basis because the marching band competes. And at the end of the competition, they give us, the competition will supply for us audio recordings of the judges that listen to the band, and they'll talk the whole time we're playing and make comments and suggestions and what they think's wrong. And you have to be open-minded and listen to what they say. You go back and listen to the music, and most oftentimes they're right. It's just things that you may not have heard because you've heard it so many times it starts to sound good. So when someone that's not familiar with your group listens to them, they'll hear things that you missed. So I get that every week, a lot of constructive criticism. We take notes and work on that till the next time, see if we can improve.
I know this past week I was sitting on a practice and went to the Bonanza of the bands.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys do?
We did very well. We got second place out of 15 bands.
Wow.
That was third overall. Bands march in different classes. So we were in Class A. So we came second place in Class A, and then there was a larger class above us. But we ended up third band overall, which is pretty good. I was very happy with that. My drums were chosen as the best drums. So the percussion section did really, really well.
Awesome.
That was what we worked all last week toward.
Cool, cool. And so you obviously have an inspirational and positive impact on your students. And as I've seen during the guitar class and your band practice, do they ever express their love, gratitude, and appreciation towards you, and how?
Well, we get along really well. And it's what I teach is a subject that the kids that are in my class want to be there because they have a love for this. And I don't know how to answer that exactly, except for the fact that we get along really great. They're really good to listen. I think they show their respect for me by listening to what I say and doing what I ask them to do.
Yep.
And we have a really good time. I really enjoy what I do, and it's just a lot of fun.
And students can express it even more so than showing that respect and
I
listening
believe
and following guidance.
That's all I ask.
It's awesome. All right. Does music run in your family, casual or professional?
Not really. My dad sang all the time just around the house. He loved to sing and loved country music, and so he was always singing, but he was not a professional. He didn't sing in public. But I remember my dad singing all the time. And music was always around, as meaning the record player. We had a record player. Dad played a lot of records. My mom played a lot of records. And my mother and dad were young when I was little, and so my mother watched American Bandstand, and so she and I would watch that before I went to school. And then my parents I was an only child, and my parents didn't have a lot, but if I was interested and wanted something, they saw that I had it. And I know they bought me an old guitar from a guy that lived near us and probably didn't pay much money for it. And when I wanted to be in band, they bought an old used trumpet on time, on payments. And so they supplied the things I needed. But neither one of them were musicians or teachers or anything like that.
That's still awesome to have that support from your parents.
It was. I had no complaints.
Awesome, awesome. And do you have any children? Are you married? And do they support your dedication to your music?
I'm married, and I have two daughters. My daughters live in Cincinnati, and they were both in music as kids. That's not their career. I have two grandchildren. My granddaughter takes violin lessons in Cincinnati from a lady that plays in the Cincinnati Symphony, and she's in second grade and doing very, very well.
Wow.
The grandson hasn't expressed any musical interest yet, but he may or may not. But both of my girls were in high school band and choir, so they did that.
Awesome, awesome. All right. Do you believe that that music can bring a community together on just about any issue, and why would you feel that way?
I think that participation and organized musical activities in high school teaches kids, or the students, part of the goal is, they have to realize that they're in this group together with a lot of different people, and they have to learn to work with different people. People that are on a certainly different level than they're on. Maybe some of them are not quite as talented as everyone else, but still we have to support these people too and lift them up and try to make them better. They learn to work together as a group toward a common goal, which if you just mix that up and take the music out of the equation, that's just life. You have to learn to work together with people and be a part of a team, whether that team is a marching band or an athletic team or a group of people where you work. You're a team still. You all have to work together to be successful. And that, more than anything, is what high school band teaches. It's not just about the music, but it's about interacting with all these different people and making it happen. Successful people, I believe, can work well with others. To be a successful band program, you've got to work well with others.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I think that's maybe one of the most important things that we teach here.
Now, I've noticed several times at my place of employment, I've been there 10 years, that there's been many, many times where we have reflected upon, the game, whether it's home or away, so on and so forth, and a lot of parents and kids will just, kind of mention, yeah, we won, yeah, we lost, or what have you, but my gosh, you should have seen the halftime show, which that's when you guys come into play,
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's obvious that it does not only impact, your high school community, but the community within a whole, which is pretty awesome. All right. What is your favorite type or types of music?
Oh boy, that'd be really hard to nail down. Obviously, I like music that's written for wind band, which is what I do. But there's no music that I can say that I don't like. Like on my playlist on my iPod, it's so diverse that I really can't nail down a very favorite genre. It just depends on what mood I'm in. I may be in a George Jones mood yesterday, and today I may be listening to some classic rock, and tomorrow I may be listening to some orchestral pieces, and I'm just real diverse on it.
Awesome. And speaking of how hard it is to pin down a favorite type of music, do you have a favorite artist, solo or band, and you can name more than one if you choose?
The names that I'd probably name as my favorite people to listen to are kind of obscure, like a man named Freddie Fennell, who was the director of the Eastman Wind Ensemble, which means nothing to the layman, but in the band world, he was really a rock star. He's probably my very favorite conductor to listen to his interpretations, and he always played wind band. That's what he did. I really probably have just about everything he ever recorded. As far as pop artists are concerned, again, just a litany of people that I like, and same thing with country music. It's just hard to nail down what I really like. I can't remember what I was listening to yesterday, but it's a kind of an obscure pop tune from probably back in the 80s. I just got an urge, I wanted to hear that, so I listened to it. And Willie Nelson just released a new album of music, and I was listening to some of that to decide if I wanted to buy the album or not. So I just a various people.
Got to be diverse in this world, yeah?
I think so. I think in my profession you do.
Yes. And now I noticed a couple of questions you mentioned, the wind band. Does that consist of certain instruments, as in like using your breath, as in like a trumpet, clarinet?
That's exactly what it is. Every instrument in the marching band is not a percussion instrument, which we're sitting in front of the drum section right now, is a wind instrument because it takes wind to make a sound. So a wind band is just that. It's not an orchestra because that has strings. A wind band is strictly wind instruments, and very American style of music.
Awesome. Do you enjoy other types of art aside from music?
Oh yeah, I like art. I don't collect it or anything, but I don't. If there's an art show or something close by, I'll go. I like to look at photography. I think that's really interesting. I think think I have an appreciation for all things creative.
Awesome, awesome. And what influences do you have, whether it is in music or your daily activities?
What kind of, I mean, I don't understand.
What influences your music?
I don't know. I don't know what my
Is it,
influences would be.
You know, say you wake up in the morning, you're having an off day. It could be, you know, the beautiful smell of a fall day, the wind. It could be a influence from music.
Mm.
Say your friend, his name was what? The wind band
Oh, Freddie Fennell.
extraordinary.
Yeah.
Freddie Fennell. You know, it seems like he might have been an influence on what you do.
When it comes to interpreting music, I listen to a lot of his stuff because I like how he interpreted things. So I'll listen to it to see how he played this piece, how he particularly interpreted. My influences that get me up and going in the morning is coming here to work with all my students and spending my day here at Max High School.
Awesome. And now, from that extreme to the other extreme, how do you unwind after a long day and satisfying day of teaching music?
You know, I just literally just go home and hang out with my wife, and I don't play music in my home. I don't have music playing all the time. I don't play instruments in the evening because that's my job. That's what I do for a living. So when I get home, I just kick back and watch television and hang out with my wife, and that's about it.
Awesome, awesome. About the best person you can hang out with.
Yep, that's true.
Aside from entertaining the audience, what other ways do you use music?
Music, if you stop to think about it, is everywhere. It's always everywhere we are. It's either on the radio in your car, it's at the restaurant you eat, there's music playing, it's in the elevator, it's on television shows. It's truly our soundtrack to our lives. And I guess I just use it as mostly unfortunately background music. There's always just this presence.
The ambiance.
Yeah, it's just always there. We don't always hear it, but it's there.
Awesome. What are your strengths in being creative?
I would say that to be creative, you can't be a quitter. You just have to keep trying things until you find something that really works and really clicks. So I think my strength is I don't quit. I just keep going. Something may not work the first 20 times you try it. You just have to keep making little alterations and not giving up and not being bullheaded and saying this is how we're going to do it. You've got to always drop back and punt if you have to do that 20 times until you come up with the right combination of things to make it, to get that effect that you want.
You say your strength is never giving up and never quitting.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a weakness in being creative at all?
Not sure. And this will be contradictory, but I'm also kind of bullheaded in something. If I want something to happen, even if it's not the best thing to happen, I'll just keep working on it till it does. That's probably not a good trait.
Sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is. What do you do if you run into a creative block?
You just have to walk away. When I write drill, there'll be a point where nothing's working. I can't decide which way I want to go, so you just have to walk away from it. Come back maybe a day later, maybe 15 minutes, just walk away, and maybe it'll come to you while you're doing something else. You just pop in your head, hey, this is what I need to do.
Awesome. Now, I know you mentioned in the aspect of being bullheaded and never quitting. Do you look at failures as defeat or stepping stones to the top of the mountain?
I've always thought that we can't win every time, we can't be successful every time. You just can't let that define that can't be your definition. If you don't get what you want, you just have to try again. But then you can't let that be the defining moment. It's just a speed bump.
Okay. Is there something that you actually, say, you came in second place
they have a goal, and they want to achieve that goal. I'm like the manager. I'm the guy that tries to keep things moving in the right direction. They know what they want, and they're disappointed, of course, when they don't win first place or when they don't get the ones that they needed to qualify for state finals. But they also know that there's another day of practice coming, and we'll practice this week, and we'll practice next week to get ready for the next show. And that's in our past, that's over. So we just have to keep going.
Life goes on.
Yeah, we just have to keep it.
I hear you. What was your greatest and most satisfying moment in music as a child and as an adult?
You know, there've just been so many really neat things that's happened. As a kid, everything is just a new experience. First time you're going to do wins a trophy, or first time you have an audition and you make the band. All those things are just so satisfying and rewarding. And then as an adult, when my students are successful, then I've achieved my goal. When we come back from a show or we get there for a halftime performance or a parade, and they feel successful, then that's an outstanding moment. It really is. That's what I want.
Awesome. What musical accomplishments have you obtained throughout your life? And you can give me a short answer because I know we can be here all day long talking about those trophies.
Of course, my band since I've taught for 37 years. This is my 37th. And fortunately, I've always had some pretty good bands and some really fine students. And they do get recognized by the competition by getting awards and things, and that's a neat recognition. I have several students that are music teachers. I feel good about that. Some students in the professional industry, feel really good about that. I have an opportunity sometimes to go to other school districts and be a guest clinician for their honor students, and that's, there's just lots of really neat things that can happen along the way if you live long enough. When you outlive all the other band directors, then you're like the old man on the mountain. So it's kind of, things come your way, I guess I'll say. It's been all good.
Now, I've heard many people refer to you, whether it's on the social media, Facebook, personally speaking to them, what have you, football coaches, parents, friends of mine, I've talked to on Facebook, they refer to you as the man, the myth, the legend. How do you feel about that?
I'm not any of that. I'm just a bandman. That's all I've ever been. That's all I am. And I think that when you teach a subject kids want to be part of, it's easy to be associated with that. I'm just a guy, and I love what I do. And my students and I have a really good time, and we've been successful, and that's just what I was saying.
That's great. I'd say you're majestically modest. A few more questions and I'll leave you alone for the day. After a great masterpiece has been performed by your marching band, what feeling is created inside? And I'd love to hear about any event that made you feel this way.
It's just a really nice feeling when the performance is over and the kids are happy. They feel like they've done their best. It's hard to describe, Cam, how good that feels to me, how relieved. It's more of a feeling of relief than anything, because you managed to get 9 people coordinated through 8 minutes of music and motion, and they got through it all without killing each other, and the crowd has appreciated it. They're applauding, and the kids are grinning, and it's just a really relaxing feeling. Does that make any sense?
It makes all the sense in the world.
It's like, okay, you did a good job.
Awesome.
That's probably what I'll say.
Awesome. Now, obviously, your passion for music and understanding of music trickles down and touches everyone around you. And I personally seen that just like sitting on the guitar class and in band practice. You know how everyone's smiling at the end of practice or what have you, or they hit that correct chord on the guitar, you know, and they give a little chuckle, what have you. How do you feel about that?
I need Sean.
How your expertise just trickles down there.
Sean, leave her to the office, please.
I don't know. It's, again, what I teach is, everybody wants to be here. It's involved in the class. No one's being forced to be in this class. So I think that I think that I'm really happy when I get through to them. It's like my guitar classes. That is not the big part of my day, but it's one of the favorite parts of my day because these are kids that I don't necessarily have in band, so I get to interact with them. And I'm a kid person. I really like kids. I really like teenagers, which a lot of teachers don't. So I think that kids can see through all of the so they can see, well, this guy really likes this.
Yeah.
Or this guy's just acting. He doesn't really like this. So, and this may not make any sense, but I feel like that the reason things trickle down is because I'm instructing them, I'm teaching them to play this instrument. And if you've ever played an instrument, it's a very unnatural thing to do. It feels funny in your hands at first, it's awkward to hold. And so over the course of years, it becomes a really natural thing. I think that's probably what you mean. It's just a course of instruction that brings this gift to everyone, is what I think.
That's an awesome way to put it, a gift. And speaking of the gift of music, how do you define music?
Click that off, I'm gonna claim and get an attendance here, and we'll get
Paul.
back to it.
Hey guys, come on in.